News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Getting an injured deputy back to work. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Thursday, January 15th, 2015. Thanks for joining us this morning. We sure appreciate it. It's a foggy morning out there today. We have 11 degrees in Missoula. The roads may be bare and dry, but there is patchy fog throughout western Montana, making driving just a little more complicated. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Dig It Excavating, where they bring 30 years of excellence to every job. The number to call is 214-4292. Visit their website at digitmontana.com. After the New Year's Eve shooting involving Missoula County Sheriff's Captain Tony Rio and Deputy Jace Dicken was pronounced justified by the county attorney's office this week, the process is now underway to return both men to duty. Sheriff T.J. McDermott was a guest on Talkback yesterday and described some of the steps necessary to complete that process.
So right now, for him to return, we're just looking for a fitness for duty assessment to be completed by a licensed mental health professional, and then he will be able to come back to work.
McDermott said the incident has brought a divided sheriff's office together.
Anytime something like this happens, this department pulls together, and I'm very proud of our deputies and detectives for that we're able to just put differences aside and get back to doing our job, protecting each other and protecting this community.
Once he does return, Rio will be on restricted duty because he was injured after being dragged under the suspect's vehicle on New Year's Eve. A 54-year-old man has pleaded guilty to 7 felony charges for raping and sexually abusing 2 girls for years. The Billings Gazette reports Franz Joseph Dyingson pleaded guilty Monday to 6 counts of sexual intercourse without consent and 1 count of sexual assault. Prosecutors are recommending a 40-year prison sentence with 20 years suspended and that he complete sex offender treatment. A sentencing date has not yet been set. Charging documents allege Dyingson began sexually abusing 1 girl in 1997 when she was 10 and continued until she was 17. The second girl said she was abused from age 8 to 14. The girl said Dyingson threatened to hurt them or their mother if they reported the abuse. Dyingson was charged in November of 2012 and has remained in jail ever since. Top Montana Veterans Affairs brass took questions from a packed house last night at a town hall meeting at the National Guard Reserve Center here in Missoula. Our news partners at NBC Montana were there. They say that the gathering was part of a series the VA is holding nationwide and here in Montana as the agency is working to rebuild trust with veterans. A recent audit found that some patients in Montana wait an average of about 48 days for their first appointment. A topic at the meeting was Missoula's crowded outpatient clinic, which has long been targeted for expansion. The old federal building in downtown Missoula has been mentioned as a potential site for a new clinic. And in a related story, Montana Senior Senator John Tester released a YouTube video yesterday in which he promoted new legislation to assist veterans with their health care issues.
Champ VA does not allow a child under the age of 26 to stay on their parents' insurance like they can in the private sector. That's why I'm introducing legislation to fix it. I'm also proposing a bill that will reimburse severely disabled veterans who seek inpatient care at VA rehab programs.
Tester said even more veterans-related legislation is on the way.
In the coming weeks, I'll be introducing a bill to allow Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans who develop hearing problems to seek treatment from hearing aid specialists within the VA. And I've been working across the aisle on a bill to allow volunteer doctors to fill the gaps in care at VA facilities that have staffing shortages.
Tester's on the Veterans Affairs Committee. A federal bankruptcy judge has approved a reorganization plan for the Roman Catholic Diocese of Helena that includes a $16.5 million settlement for hundreds of people who sued over clergy sex abuse from the 1940s to the 1970s. The plan approved by U.S. bankruptcy judge Terry Myers here in Missoula yesterday includes another $4.45 million payment from the Ursuline Sisters of the Western Province to settle a lawsuit filed by 45 Native Americans who alleged abuse and sex abuse at the Ursuline Academy in St. Ignatius over that same time period. The plan will now go to a vote of creditors, 362 plaintiffs and 2 lawsuits against the diocese and the plaintiffs in the Ursuline lawsuit. Neither side is allowed to comment while that vote is pending. Yesterday, Department of Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack announced the Gallatin Valley Land Trust had been selected to join a new federal program to mix private and public funding in the name of conservation. USDA spokesman Eric Suffridge explains.
The 2014 Farm Bill established a new program called the Regional Conservation Partnership Program. And what that is was an effort by Congress to help NRCS to establish partnerships, to provide funding for the agency to expand partnerships and to increase our investment in conservation on the ground.
Only about a sixth of these submitted applications made it all the way to the final selection stage.
There were over 600, I believe it was like 660 pre-proposals that were submitted through that request for proposals last spring. The agency narrowed that down to a few more than 200 for full proposal consideration, and then there's somewhere around 100 to 110 actual projects that are being funded.
Approximately $3.7 million will be spent on the program's stated goals in the Gallatin Valley, which are, quote, to improve water quality, water quantity, and soil health, end quote. Replacing flooring in the capital and providing $45 million for projects in the Bakken-affected towns would become a reality under a $400 million infrastructure plan proposed by Democrat Governor Steve Bullock. Bullock's Build Montana legislation was introduced by Republican Representative Jeff Wellborn yesterday in the Joint Appropriations Subcommittee on Long-Range Planning. It was taken up again and will be taken up for weeks as lawmakers sift through the project list and funding mechanisms. Missoula County officials are in the process of creating a new website to be unveiled this spring. Since western Montana has a wide variety of photographers and artists, county administrators are asking for local submissions to be included in the new website. Communications and Projects Director Ann Hughes says the new website will feature large images on the homepage.
Part of that effort is seeking photographs from local photographers and artists who might be interested in having their work as part of the design piece of that. So we'll credit their work most definitely, and we're really hoping for some great submissions.
Hughes says the spectacular beauty of western Montana is the perfect subject matter to be included in the new website.
Missoula County is a beautiful place. It's pretty dang photogenic, so it would be nice to get some good outdoor shots of, folks recreating or, any of the great amenities that we have here in the county.
To present submissions for the website, send the images to photos@co.missoula.mt.us. You can get more information on our website, too, at newstalkkgvo.com. Right now, it's 6:10.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Look for patchy fog as you head out the door this morning. That fog will also help us stay only in the upper 20s by the time we reach the afternoon, with a few showers expected tomorrow morning. I'm meteorologist Matt Gray for KCI 13, your first alert station.